This is Nicaragua, arguably one of the most mysterious countries in all of Central America. This is a country better known for hardship than holidays. One of the poorest countries in Latin America, this country has been ruled by an authoritarian regime on and off for over 35 years. The country made global headlines in 2018 when the government murdered hundreds of its citizens during a period of protests. And this history still shapes life here today. And in this video, we're going to get a glimpse into this mysterious country and see what life is like on the ground. Welcome to Central America. After now 60 days of crossing through jungles, volcanoes, lost villages and 4 border crossings, it's time to cross into arguably the most misunderstood country in all of Central America. It's time to cross into Nicaragua, but not in the way you might think. I've linked up with a small local boat captain and we are going to attempt to sail into what is essentially an authoritarian regime on a small local boat. During this journey, our little wooden boat will be battered by waves as we cross the sea. Our bags will be searched by authorities looking for spyware and drones, and I'll get to experience what it's like to walk across a country's border barefoot on the shores by wading through the ocean. But first, this journey starts out at the break of dawn in the small, sleepy town of La Unión, El Salvador. Good morning. It is 10 minutes to 6 and it's time to get up. So I'm about to go to get a boat. I'm in La Unión. I'm going to get a boat to cross over to Nicaragua. So let's do it. Before leaving El Salvador, I stopped off for breakfast. These are pupusas, the national snack of El Salvador. Pupusas are a pancake filled with cheese and they are unbelievable. I'm in getting the coffee in before we hit the boat. So got about 20-30 minutes to chill out before start crossing over. We're on the way to Nicaragua now on the boat. Yeah, the boat's crazy now. Everyone's like protecting themselves from the water. It turns out I didn't even need a shower this morning. I'm getting that here on the boat. That right there is Honduras. We're driving past, we're sailing past Honduras now on the way to Nicaragua. Doesn't look like I'll get there this time, but another time. There's Nicaragua right there. We're approaching it.
Shoes off.
Shoes off. That's us
Shoes off.
arriving in Nicaragua now. Here we are, straight off the boat in Nicaragua. So what a nice way to arrive in a country. Just walking off the side of a boat, feet in the water on a black sand beach. And this, all around here, is Nicaragua. So that's the first sight of the country. So now it's time to cross the border control, see what it's all about. Let's go. I was just saying there, this is the nicest immigration line I've ever had in my life. You're literally on the beach going through the immigration customs, you know, for the passport and everything. You don't get that in Ireland, that's for sure. So I'm way later than everyone else, I'm way behind. So I'm hoping my bus is actually still here. I got held up at the border there, probably because I'm wearing an El Salvador shirt, crossing into another country, into Nicaragua. So yeah, I'm actually in a hurry now to see if I can get on a bus, because everyone else is gone. I got here, found the actual kind of station here. So that's where I need to be. So I'm here in plenty of time. So I'm at the border here still. It's taken a little while and I'm absolutely dying to go to the toilet. So I'm going to the toilets in the immigration border, which is behind that bus in the trees. I mean, what happens? This is an authoritarian dictatorship, don't forget. What happens if they catch me taking a piss at their border? Let's find out. Well, let's not find out. That worked all right. So this is Nicaragua after the border crossing. So I've separated myself from the rest of the people crossing over, and I'm exploring this kind of border post here, which is all kind of abandoned. It used to be like an old duty-free place, but not anymore. Welcome to Nicaragua. Just got through the border. Now we're on the way to Leon, which is where I'm going to stay tonight. So I'm just catching a break off the bus right now. It's been probably about an hour and a half on the road, getting further and further into Nicaragua. So I don't know how to pronounce the name of where we are right now, but we're on the way to Leon. So I'm going to chill here for a little while. So this is a petrol station in Nicaragua. That's what it looks like. We're just catching a break off this bus right now. So, Nicaragua then. Let's just take a second to tell you a little bit about where we are. Nicaragua. Depending on how old you are, that name might not mean much to you. Or it could immediately bring images of brutal guerrilla street fighting to mind. This is a country that has been ruled by one authoritarian leader on and off for over 35 years. Nicaragua is often described as a country that looks like a democracy on paper, but operates more like a dictatorship in reality. You have to remember, it's a country with a tough history and unfortunately a tough present too. Nicaragua is the poorest country in all of Central America, with a GDP per capita of just $4,500 US. But these are just numbers. What this means for real people on the ground is a 30% poverty rate, with 8% of the population living on just $1.25 per day. It's easy for many people to be put off a country with headlines like these. But as you'll see over the coming videos, I discover the wonderful, kind people that live through the struggle and still find space to be kind to a foreigner. Just got off the bus and I'm in Leon, which is the first major stop after crossing the border into Nicaragua. It's a bit of a backpacker's paradise. I found two more backpackers, so we're heading to they're actually in the same hostel as me, so we're gonna go there and chill out and see what this town is all about. Following these guys, they know the route, getting to the hostel. That's our spot.
Buena. Hola. Oh.
So this is the map. This is where we are. I'm sitting here waiting at the hostel to check in. And this is Leon. So it's kind of a old kind of colonial style town, churches, old buildings and stuff. So I am somewhere here. So this is the view of the hostel. So that's my room right there. That's where I'm staying. And then down here you've got the pool and the beautiful. So now it's time to get a coffee, the fourth one today, and then get into that. So I was just told about this beer. It's called Tonya, and this is the most delicious beer I've ever seen in my life. I took one sip of it and I was like, wow.
What do you think about our national beer?
Your national beer is delicious. One of the best ones I've ever had. Guys, Tonya is what it's all about.
Yes.
Hi guys.
This is the great historic city of Leon. It's the first major stop for any traveller after crossing the northern border. And this is in fact one of the oldest cities in all of Central America. And like any old city, this place has a story. This is a city that's been burned, rebuilt and redefined multiple times. It's the place where students helped overthrow a dictator in protest and violence that left hundreds dead. These streets look calm now, but just a few decades ago, they would have been echoing with gunfire and death. Leon doesn't just tell Nicaragua's story. In a way, Leon is Nicaragua's story. So this is Parque Central, which is like the kind of main plaza in, where am I? Leon. So, you know, it's got a big, huge cathedral, the biggest in Central America, it turns out, as this guy was telling me. And yeah, you've just got it's the end to a beautiful day of travelling. And that's all I have to say about that. Everyone I'm walking past is just staring at me. I'm so out of place here that it's actually crazy. We're on the way. This is the type of place that a gringo on his own has absolutely no business being in. How did I end up here?